First up, a Go Loud original from Newstalk.
Good morning, it's Monday, the 29th of November. I'm Shane Beattie.
And I'm Mairead Cleary, and this is First Up, all the news you need to start your day.
On this morning's edition, NPHET meet with government to discuss Omicron variant.
The optimist in the hopes that this isn't a particularly more pathogenic virus, perhaps even a less pathogenic virus.
Ghislaine Maxwell's sex trafficking trial begins today.
And Longford was found to be the most law-breaking county in Ireland.
First up this morning, NPHET is meeting with the coalition party leaders today to discuss the new Omicron variant. We're joined now by our reporter Casey O'Riordan. Casey, what can you tell us about this meeting?
Good morning, Mairead. Well, last night the Chief Medical Officer said new regulations are being drawn up to give effect to new travel and home quarantine rules. But no meeting of the Cabinet Subcommittee on COVID was scheduled as of last night for after the NPHET meeting. And that subcommittee is usually a precursor to any further measures being brought in. Now, a full Cabinet meeting is due tomorrow morning should NPHET recommend any further measures be taken to protect Ireland from the Omicron variant after they meet today. Now, meanwhile, the World Health Organization says it's not clear whether infection from this new variant causes more severe disease compared to other variants, including Delta. Infectious disease specialist Professor Sam McConkey is hopeful people won't get as sick with the new strain.
It does seem to be spreading quite a lot. It's a lot of the cases around Johannesburg and other provinces of South Africa are now this new Omicron variant, so it seems to have spread widely there. The South African population is young, and hopefully and helpfully they don't seem to be getting very sick with it. So the optimist in the hopes that this isn't a particularly more pathogenic virus, perhaps even a less pathogenic virus.
And there's obviously still a concern as well about the Delta variant.
Yeah, so the Chief Medical Officer, Tony Holohan, actually pointed out that while there's much attention on new variants, cases of the Delta strain of COVID remain too high here. You know, yesterday we had 3,735 new cases of COVID. 576 people were in hospital last night, including 117 in ICU. And Dr. Dennis McCauley from the Irish Medical Organisation says while the new strain is obviously a concern, the current one still needs to be tackled.
I think any new variant is a worry. We have to assess the level of virulence of this particular strain and its infectivity. But that said, before we are variant ready, we have to also sort of control the variant that we have presently. I think the recent advice given by the Chief Medical Officer is being heeded, and I think we're beginning to see that in the numbers.
OK, Casey O'Riordan, thanks for joining us on First Up.
A new antigen testing programme for primary school children is to be introduced from today. Parents will receive the tests where another child in their pod is COVID positive or if there have been 2 or more cases in a class within a week. Student teachers are also to start work in primary schools today to help with staffing shortages caused by the pandemic. Meanwhile, the Labour Party is calling for schools to be given assistance to help introduce mask wearing among children following recent NPHET guidance. Labour's education spokesperson Aodhán Ó Ríordáin says sensitivity is needed.
We need to keep our schools open and we need to keep them safe. And in that regard, I think the NPHET advice is going to have to be followed, but we're going to have to work with school communities so that levels of anxiety amongst children are not raised unnecessarily, and also that children with additional needs are catered for under this new arrangement.
Longford, Limerick and Dublin are the most law-breaking counties in Ireland. They had the biggest number of people jailed last year per capita. First Up's Owen Murphy reports.
Last year, just under 5,300 people were sent to prisons throughout the country. Nationally, an average of 89 people per 100,000 population were jailed in 2020. A breakdown based on the home addresses of the criminals shows which counties have the highest and lowest rates of imprisonment. Longford is the highest at 198 people per 100,000 population. Garda David Conroy from the Garda Representative Association is stationed in County Longford.
We put it down to the increase in the density of the population in the county and the number of high levels of feuding in recent years in the county, with minimal Garda numbers resulting in some serious offences being detected by very few Gardaí are at breaking point at this stage. It's being roared and shouted about Dublin city centre, but everybody seems to have forgotten about the country and where Garda numbers are minimal. Basically, we're providing fire brigade service.
The next most law-breaking county is Limerick, with a rate of 187. Then it's Dublin at 118, while Wexford, Louth and Carlow also have rates of over 100. Donegal is the most law-abiding county in the country, with a rate of just 42. The next lowest rates were Mayo, Leitrim and Offaly.
Ghislaine Maxwell's sex trafficking trial is due to begin in New York today. Prosecutors claim the former girlfriend of disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein recruited and groomed girls for him to abuse. She denies the charges but has been refused bail 6 times. Her brother Ian says she's being mistreated.
Both Ghislaine and the family are relieved that we are finally getting to the moment of truth. It's been over 500 days now that she has been in isolation in prison.
The UK has called an urgent meeting of G7 health ministers today to discuss the Omicron COVID variant after a third infected person was found in Britain. All those arriving in the UK from 4 a.m. tomorrow will be required to take a PCR test on or before day 2 of their arrival, but this won't apply to Ireland. Britain's one of several countries to have announced cases of the new variant, including Germany, Italy and the Netherlands. Vincent McAviney is a London-based journalist. He joins me now on First Up. Morning to you, Vincent. First of all, you've been across this story all weekend. Just bring us up to speed, please.
Well, there were additions to the announcements made on Saturday last night. So now all school children in years 7 and above, so that is from the age of 11, and their teachers and staff in schools are being told from this morning that they need to wear masks in communal areas. And then, as you've mentioned there was the changes to the travel rules. So you need to, when you return from any international travel, do a PCR test after 2 days of quarantining, wait until you get the result of that, and then you're free to go. Contact tracing coming in once again, but this isn't the full plan B that the government had previously announced. They're not asking people yet to work from home or introducing COVID passports in England. Those, though, are in place in other parts of the United Kingdom.
How significant is it, this meeting now that has been called of the G7 health ministers today?
I think it is significant because they're going to be comparing strategies on what they're doing. So they now, through the work of the South African scientists, have the details about this new variant. They'll be talking about how they talk to the manufacturers of the current vaccines we have, how long it's going to take them to adapt the vaccines in case they need to do that, and also what the intelligence is on whether the antiviral pills will work as effectively on this new variant. Because when I was at the press conference on Saturday night, the Prime Minister was talking about stopping its seeding in the country. That is why now 10 countries are on the red list once again for travel. I think he'll be talking to other G7 ministers about how long they can keep those countries on the red list, what they do with other countries where they then see breakout infections of Omicron, and stopping it getting into the kind of international travel flow and then spreading more easily into the countries in Europe.
You now have 3 confirmed cases?
Yes, that's right. 3 confirmed cases, and we know that those aren't separate cases. Those are cases connected with each other with some kind of foreign travel, and they're continuing now to look for contacts of those people in the past few days and on the travel that they did do on the flights back. Because, last week we did still have, up until about Thursday, Friday, flights still coming in from those countries before that deadline was hit.
OK, London-based journalist Vincent McAviney, thanks for joining us on First Up.
And finally, the perfect job comes with a 26-hour week, a salary of €50,000 and a boss who likes a pint, a new survey has found. A poll of 2,000 workers found the dream job would be just a 17-minute commute away, offer regular pay rises and give you a day off for your birthday. Office jobs are more popular, with a third opting to sit behind the screen, while 1 in 10 said they'd rather a physical role. And that is First Up for Monday the 29th of November. I'm Mairead Cleary.
I'm Shane Beattie. Please start your day with us again here tomorrow.
In the meantime, you can check out all the news you need on newstalk.com.
Talk tomorrow.